What episode are we on?
120.
120. Nice, nice. Can't wait until we get to 420. Oh boy, boy. This is a long ways out. But I'll go ahead and start. Hello and welcome everybody to episode 120 of Jobless.
120, Brian.
Yeah.
Man.
Incredible. Just awesome. I'm Brian, and with me, of course,
Marco the Big Mexican.
that's right.
Man, Brian,
Yeah.
I like the fact that we've been consistent. Last time I uploaded one of those special episodes a couple months ago. So
really? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today, there was a small chance I wouldn't have made it, but we made it.
Man.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, today we went to see a movie.
Yes.
The movie that we want to talk about today.
Yeah. And there was a blizzard out there. Gosh dang.
Man. For a second, I thought that we were not gonna have an episode.
Yeah.
Because you're since we were to watch the movie, and
right.
I decided to start experimenting a little bit with TikTok videos and YouTube Shorts. Because there's no other way for us to promote ourselves other than just
online.
It's keep putting our videos some other places until we try to because we clearly suck at promoting ourselves.
Clearly.
We don't care, but we care.
Yes.
So
yes, absolutely. It's a hobby of ours.
I mean, we don't care, but it's actually pretty nice when people watch your videos.
It is.
So
today, as we mentioned, we do have a movie. This is a pretty special movie because it's a Miyazaki animated film. So it's good. It's incredible. It's awesome. All you fans out there who like all the classic ones, this is definitely one to really sink your teeth into.
Yeah, this is from the same person who directed Princess Mononoke.
Oh, right? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Princess Mononoke. I don't remember which other. It's from Studio Ghibli.
Yes.
Yeah, the movie is called The Boy and the Heron.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, it was such an enigmatic movie.
It was, because it never
This is the problem of watching garbage anime. That when you actually go watch,
like a work of art,
like a work of art that it has so many symbolisms and critiques and representation of a lot of things. You're like,
ideas.
I don't understand what's happening here because you just keep watching your garbage rom-coms anime.
Yeah, dumpster
that you just turn off your brain and you're she got big dunkers. That's what happens when you watch garbage anime.
And then it's not only the plot, but it's the story. Well, so this one is releasing in theaters. So we watched it in theaters. It's based off of a book. Let me pull up that info real quick. And then of course the Japanese title is Kimitachi wa do ikuru ka, or How Do You Live? And so the Japanese title, it references a novel from 1937 by Genzaburo Yoshino, but it's not really an adaptation of that. It's more of a its own story, kind of like an original story. It follows the story of this boy during the time of World War II, and kind of like the sphere and the perspective we have from the boy. And his name is Mahito. And we begin with him in his house, but at night, and there's a fire outside, and his father goes out, and it appears to be it's the hospital that's on fire, and that's where his mom is working at the time.
Yeah, the hospital caught on fire because of a bombing, I believe.
Okay.
So we're at the midst of World War II.
Yeah.
And we have Japan that in this time it was the imperial Japan. This fascist I'd say society, because like back at the time Japan was ruthless. They were just like for the emperor, like it came to the point that a lot of the pilots during World War II, like just a little background, were like kamikaze fighters. So it's like it's important to understand the kind of background that Japan was at the time of this movie. And so it was a bombing, and the hospital was catching on fire.
Yep.
And the boy was like, "No, I'm gonna go as well," because the dad told him like, "Hey, you wait
Stay
here."
Yeah.
And he's going. Like the animation at that time is just everything. It's chaos. Everything is blurry and it's red because it's on fire.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people too. Yeah. So it's utter chaos.
And the only one that looks kind of clear, clear on the frame, it's him trying to run, trying to reach the hospital, but everything else is kind of blurry, and I hate that we don't have clips.
Right. Yeah.
But
he gets there, and it's just way too much chaos, because even I was confused. Did he actually arrive? But everything's on fire, and he has this vision of his mother in the flames, going up in flames, but she's you can still see her, and she's ascending, and it's fascinating. But people try to put out the fire, and he's he couldn't do a thing. He's powerless to stop this raging inferno.
Cuts back to the next scene. It's they are moving back from the city back to the countryside. We receive a little more background from his family.
Yeah,
his dad is the owner of a plane factory.
Yeah,
and it's still the war, so that's a lot of money.
Yep.
And they are met by a girl, and he says oh, she looks like mother. This lady's name it's Natsuko. We later learn that she is the little sister of this boy's mother, which I thought it was a little I mean, not messed up, but
I see.
The dad.
Right, you're right.
The dad is like, oh yeah, the mom, and then the mom died, and oh well, she has a sister.
Oh, okay.
Different times.
Oh yes, different times. Yeah.
But I don't know. For some reason, I just couldn't let it go. I was like,
oh, okay. It's understandable. I
mean, it's not relevant in any way for the movie, but I was like,
right.
Like, why though? But
yeah, I know. I was so confused myself. I was so confused with what was going on when they were meeting here for the first time. But yeah, we do learn later that they are sisters, his mother and this girl. And then something else was a little odd later in the movie, but we can get to that later too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So while the father goes to the plane factory, he accompanies her back to the house. In this house, man, this house was so weird. that
it was.
You know, as soon as we arrived, I thought that we were already kind of like in a like in a different world,
like a wonderland.
Yeah, because you know that there were all these old ladies that for some reason
there were 7 of them. I counted.
Yeah, there were 7 of them.
I thought that was so odd to me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were 7 of them, and you know, Ghibli has this thing of making really ugly old people.
Yeah, for some reason, and always with like the reddish bulbous nose, for multiple characters. But yeah.
But you know, kind of like on this part, you are in disbelief because you were like, are these characters people? Like, are like,
what are
like,
we seeing?
What is this? Because you see, and they you know, kind of like scavenging, like the suitcase with the canned food, and
and
you're like,
who are these people?
Like, right. I have no like this is again, it's like this is when you see like the storytelling in a different way, because you know, like you are used with your garbage anime. Yeah, you are used to like starting. You know, at the beginning, introducing all major characters and all background.
And it's fast-paced and
move on forward.
Yeah, exactly.
With this, it feels like the beginning of the anime started like 30 minutes ago on a part that you weren't able to watch.
And it's still going with a lot of space. That's what I noticed too.
Yeah.
Like even with the all those old ladies, there was a lot of space with him, like going outside, and with the heron, and yeah, I felt that too for sure.
Yeah, the build up for every character, like in order of appearance, they just appear there as if you already know them. They're like, hey, how you doing? And you're like, who the heck are you?
And when Natsuko shot the whistling arrow at the heron, which was like maybe like a couple days later, I was like, oh, like there's like some history going on here that we're not being told. That's exactly my point, because like they are throwing
at you a lot of information of things and characters and you know, overall things that they're kind of like, hey, you're supposed to know that, right? And you're like, no, because you see all of these characters interacting. This boy interacting, you know, at the lake, he sees a Gray Heron, and Natsuko is like, the Gray Heron, and it's here. And you know, we have a mysterious tower that it's clearly not the same architecture as, you know, the building where they're living, or as you know, this time at the Meiji era in Japan. This looks more like a more Western, and you know, more old Western. Not at the time. Yeah, it kind of looks more like a tower from like the 15th, like, 16th century.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, this tower, it's out of place. You clearly know that, and it's like, oh yeah, the entrance is blocked, and you know, the little dude tries to go in, but he can't, and he is advised not to go in there.
Back there, and he's of course drawn to this mysterious tower for reasons of adventure. Yeah, and then and there's also a little bit with like his relationship with Natsuko, and a little bit with his dad, but with the dad being off screen, it's not as prevalent. And I think it's really interesting where a lot of the first like kind of like mystery is when he goes to Natsuko's room because she wanted him to pay her a visit. She's pregnant, by the way. So there's that too.
I mean, that part also really surprised me. You know, because when he decides to go to Natsuko's room, it's
that's
right after he already had an interaction with
with
the heron. So
yeah.
probably it'll be good for us to give a little more background before this point.
Yeah.
So as he's in the countryside, he has to go to school. He's not fitting in school. He gets into a fight. It seems that he actually didn't, win kind of like the fight, the argument.
Seemed like it.
And at the beginning I was thinking like, oh, this kid is cunning because he grabs a rock and he injures himself. And I was like, maybe this was all part of his plan just to make his dad, get mad and get everyone in school involved and expel them. But it was like, no, it was just
I thought that too, actually.
It was just his tantrum of like, I don't want to go to school. What should I do? I should hurt myself. Because I guess as a kid that makes sense. Because he does.
Like in his sphere, that's what he can do to get out of going to school. Yeah.
So yeah,
I thought it was interesting how silent, there's no dialogue throughout those events. That was really interesting. And when he comes back, he just like is being put down to bed. He's being taken care of. The dad, kudos to him. He's like, who did this to you? I'm going to go get vengeance. And it's like, okay, dad, like, great.
Exactly. Like that's what I thought that it was his plan.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, maybe that's his plan. And then you're like, no, don't worry. I was like,
right. He didn't give anyone up.
Okay. Yeah. He didn't think this through.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Because, his dad, like, pesters him. He thinks it's the right thing to do. But, yeah, Mahito, he just wants to play hooky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that I found interesting was, I had never watched a Ghibli movie with so much blood. Or crap, for the matter.
Okay.
There's a lot of bird crap, like literally.
Yeah. Like the heron comes through the window and leaves, and bird crap. I was surprised too because of when he hit his head. Yeah, gosh dang, did it flowed.
It makes sense. So I have a scar here that I made myself when I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Oh wow!
And I remember that when I opened, really? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, okay.
I was told.
But okay.
So that's how bad it was.
Yikes!
Like I opened it and blood started flowing. Man, like one of those hand towels. I remember it was soaked in blood.
Oh my god!
So it's like, man, like
head wounds.
So head wounds, super bad. It's like not good. Like which it was also interesting because like this dude just like brush it off like
he does.
Like a champ.
He does,
because those are bad. But but after his head wound, he has an interaction with the heron. The heron tells him like, you have been kind of like summoned or requested.
And the boy Mahito, he's like, not. Of course, we don't know what's going on or who the heron reports back to, but Mahito, he wants none of it. Understandably, he's like shutting the window on the heron, and he also goes down to the lake, and the heron is starting to show some weird characteristics through its beak. Mahito is like he's like being swarmed by all these frogs and fish and so there's like a lot of like tension with being summoned basically by an unknown entity, and then with Natsuko kind of like being in a vulnerable state, and so we're like going up to kind of like where it kind of blows out of proportion, or blows out of this normalcy, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Excluding, well, I mean, the heron is not normal, but
because we see Natsuko that she knew, and all the 7 grannies also knew something.
Yeah,
because she was with the bow, like it was normal, and she was using it like it was
that's what got
normal.
Me. Yeah, incredible skills, but it's the fact that she was like cool with it.
Yeah, it was like, oh, this dude here again. Okay, bring me my bow.
Yeah,
and
it's like shooting squirrels in your backyard. Oh my gosh. The old ladies, they know something's up. They're like, don't go over there. He's warned that. We know something is up with like his family. His family has like a history or something.
Right after that, it's when Natsuko, she's starting to feel a lot worse because due to the pregnancy, and this guy starts making a bow and an arrow, and the arrow he makes it out of the head of a nail, or like I guess the tip of a nail. A branch and some of the feathers from the heron. During this time that he's practicing with the bow and arrow, we see Natsuko just walking off towards the forest.
Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah. Just like that. And then some time passes and people start looking for her. And we see that Mihito, he's not quite good with the fact that that his aunt it's now his new mom, because he's still not over the fact that his mom passed away, even though it has been quite a few years already. But nonetheless, he decides to go look for Natsuko.
Yep.
Because of his dad. Because he's like, oh yeah, my dad is fond of her, so
yeah.
So he goes with one of the grannies.
Because his dad is fond of
her. Kiriko. And they found they find a building. That this building also had some sort of kind of like, story, because this building was actually kind of like attached to the tower.
Right. But crumpled throughout the years.
And it was a trap. It was...
Yeah.
The boy, to this point, thinks that the mastermind is the heron. That he's the baddie. Okay? And so he decides to go...
Confront the heron. Yep.
He confronts the heron because, I saw the heron as this trickster, this liar.
Yeah.
Which they do, actually. Like,
yeah, in a way, yes. Yeah, herons always lie. Which is, like, I guess, some sort of, like, folklore tradition in Japan, which I'm not too familiar with. But it is a thread that we follow through the rest of the story. He goes in there and he totally just rails on the heron to the point where he does shoot, but the arrow has some sort of like magical ability with the feather that he used from the heron himself, and the arrow sticks to the
beak.
Into the beak. And it somehow like stops the heron from fully transforming into the heron. So now we see kind of his more true-ish form, where he is more of like a diminutive old guy, and he's like a really huge nose that sort of resembles a beak. I thought that was a funny detail. There's like some things that happen, but then some mysterious figure intervenes like high up, and I was so confused at that part. I was like, what is going on? As you said, like, we're being thrown into the middle of a story. Yeah, this is another like, this is an end game boss, basically. We're seeing it now.
You were there and you're like, Hold on, and like
that's the big bad. Heron is small fry.
Can you explain again, like the scene from 20 minutes ago? I'm still in there.
Yeah, now we see this. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because you see this dude. Mm-hmm. You can't really see him, but it seems that he's the boss, and he tells them okay, let him come here. He's looking for Natsuko. Like, let him come.
Let it come. Oh yeah.
And so he's like, okay, kid, and like, you wanted it. And so it turns out that like he is sent to a different world, a different dimension, if you will.
Yes.
In this different dimension, it's full of really strange individuals. I thought of it of kind of like a spiritual realm where the dead and the living kind of like coexisted.
Coexist.
Because you had
there's like
this world was full of limitations for different individuals, because you see some sort of cave that was some sort of kind of like cemetery.
And it was like you can't go in there or else you'll like disturb them or wake them up, or they'll come out or something like that. And I was like, whoa. She said it was like an underworld, something like that too.
You have lots of birds. Lots of birds.
Pelicans.
You have
parakeets.
Yeah, the parakeets, man. Like,
but that is
for some reason, this movie made me hate the parakeets just a little bit.
Oh yes. Oh no. Oh, totally.
But what I thought interesting of this really good chunk of the movie.
Oh yeah.
Was
good chunk of
this kind of like cycle of life kind of thing, and also kind of like comparing it with the time that it was happening again, World War II.
Yes,
we had World War II, Japan versus United States,
and
among others.
Right. Yeah. Not to like narrow down, but yeah.
But yeah, like among others, you had these two factions in which you have these Americans that were up for liberty. And in this time, Japan was more for like oppression, given the time. And you have different individuals in which you see what were the little
the waru.
Yeah, the waru-warus.
Yeah,
they were kind of like newborn souls
or preborn
souls, I guess.
So it was yes, this part especially, I latched onto it because it was like these were the souls that were going to go into. Oh, and this is the lady talking. She was like, these are like the souls of those who are going to your world to be born. And I was like, what? What the heck is this? It's like in the movie Souls. Have you seen that one? Yeah. Oh, it was great. And it was fascinating because she's like a hunter. She helps a town get food, and then also the waru can like also use some of the monster fish's guts to like
get nutrients and fly.
Yeah,
fly away.
And that's the circle of life thingy.
Because later you also see the pelicans start eating the waru. And then you see
a lone figure.
A lone figure that controls fire.
Shooting.
And she starts shooting the pelicans, but at the same time, she starts shooting at the wadi. We see a scene where he has an exchange with a pelican.
Yes.
And he's mad with the pelican, and the pelican is like,
he's like, dude, about to hit it, and who knows?
The pelican is just like, almost dead, the pelican tells us like, dude,
hey, we have it hard too.
He's like, this is our way. And you're like, man, who's the bad guy here?
Right, yeah.
He's like, who's the bad guy? Like the lady who burned them to death almost.
Right.
These guys that are eating the waru waru.
Right.
The kid who's trying to get revenge on the waru
right. For the waru waru. So yeah, it's like all sorts of weird stuff. And so we see like part of that struggle of the boy is like building up, and then after that we see Mahito. He wakes up, or he wakes up from, I don't even know, like underneath the table or something like that. But then does the girl come? Oh, wait, that's a little later.
So after this point, the Gray Heron finds him again and tells him like, hey, your mom, or like Natsuko is not here.
Yeah.
He's like, I know. So they're gonna make their way, or like their journey toward where she is.
Yeah.
So they leave,
forced to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, they leave from where the place where they were at, and they venture into a different place.
Yes.
And all of this animation was amazing. I also really like the fact that they didn't miss on a lot of details. Like even some of the smallest sounds or movements, they were like the grass. How the grass was animated, moving. It's like, man, all of this was kind of like a bit of a feast.
Yeah.
We get to the part where you have this army of man-eating parakeets.
Oh, freaking! The funniest part was when they were in the house and the two parakeets behind him had the butcher's knife and the knife and behind their backs, and they're like, oh yeah, right this way and we'll help you, and then they're like, oh, just like right here, and it's a table, and it's like, oh, you're gonna butcher me? How dare you? Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I didn't get that part where they say like, Natsuko has a baby, you don't have a baby, so
yeah, I don't get it. I didn't really get it either. They just had something against eating a baby, and then apparently they couldn't eat Natsuko because she was pregnant with a baby. Yeah, I don't know. They were a little weird.
Like, but there were a lot of things. A lot of my questions were like, I have...
Like,
there were no answers. Not even at the end.
That's true. Yeah, there were no answers.
As he was about to be... food.
Right.
He's saved.
He's saved by
Himi. By Himi.
Mm-hmm. She comes through the table or something like that, and it's like just a flame we see at first. She scatters the parakeets. They go off on fire, and then she like takes him through her portal of fire into her own home, and we get like a little bit of story, a little bit of background here, but not a whole lot. She has like powers of fire, or to control fire. And then, he explains, hey, I want to find and bring back Natsuko.
Yeah, and she says like, oh, my little sister.
Yeah, and I was like,
and and a little before Natsuko was like, oh, big sister, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and so you make the connection. They're like, right. I don't know what's happening here, but that girl is his mom.
Right? Yeah. It's like, what the freak?
And they're gonna go their way into the tower. And this is the same tower that it's back on the real world. But in here, this tower is like the freaking TARDIS.
Yeah.
Because it's humongous, and you see a lot of doors, a lot of passages, and a lot of those doors lead to different times.
Yeah.
Or maybe even worlds.
Yes. Different worlds, different times. It's like wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, like Doctor Who. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. And Himi's like, yeah, like we got to find you the right door so you can go back home. He's like, no, I got to find Natsuko. A lot of things happen there. A lot of details that we'll probably skip over. She doesn't want to be saved. Go figure.
Yeah,
I like the delivery room. I didn't quite.
Me neither.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, part of the storytelling.
There is this part where he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna save my mom."
Yeah,
like he doesn't call her Natsuko. He calls her mom.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting too.
She's like, "I hate you. Like, don't come here," and all those pieces of paper starts
sticking
to him and
like fire.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then that was before Nimi blew up on fire, and then the paper went on fire. Oh my gosh. A lot of symbolism there.
They look
I don't
like
even know what's
as
going
well.
on. Ooh, yeah. That's right. All wiggly and yeah. So they go out, and then jeez Louise, the freaking mage of the tower. Oh my gosh. This could be D&D campaign.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like summoned. He has to go talk to the mage. The mage is like all cryptic. He's like playing with building blocks. Oh my gosh. And then and so Mahito, he doesn't want anything to do with that. He just thinks, I want to save his mom, Natsuko. And so there's like some crazy things that's happening going around with the parakeets also. The parakeet king. What a weird bird. Yes. This is where they capture them also. Mihi and Mahito. We kind of like skip over to Himi being carried by the parakeets to the mage, thinking that, they broke like the taboo, so now they have to pay. They bring Mihi to the mage, and then that's where we get Mahito coming back with the heron after they meet up again to kind of like go and meet with the mage with like the last time or something like that.
Yeah. So
it's a lot of stuff.
Kind of like the whole point of all of this,
all of that
was that this mage, he was Mahito's great granduncle.
Yes, great granduncle.
He was the uncle that builded the tower.
Yep. The tower.
On top of this kind of like meteorite.
Right.
And then he disappeared.
Yes.
And we're given more information that he wants Mahito to be some sort of god.
Yeah. Inherit this.
Inherit this world. Have power over it.
Yeah.
And he could start anew. Like
basically
a world,
or at least like continue renewing it every so often.
Yeah, like every third day he was supposed to make a structure and this structure was going to be balanced. It was going to be pure, kind of like according to the likeness of his heart, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then he says like, no, because my heart is already pretty dark. Because
check out this scar.
Like, check out this scar. I made this scar because I didn't want to go to school. Yeah. And I was like, that's like again, like that's stupid reason. Like I made this scar because I wanted all the other kids to be punished or something. But
I don't know.
I guess that would have been like more of a villain kind of thing.
That would have been, yeah.
But it's like, no, I didn't want to go to school. I've been selfish or
something like that. Yeah.
And you know,
so he refuses.
Yeah. The point of all of this is that the great grand uncle tells him like, "Hey, I want you to continue to keep the status quo. You have these
inherit my position.
Inherit my will, because you have these birds, and these birds are stupid because they are birds.
Aside from that's a fair point, yeah. Aside from eating humans, yeah, they are.
And you know, the other thing is that, again, like, this world is full of crap. Yes. Literally, and I guess...
It's far from perfect.
Yeah.
Speaking in just a way of, like, maybe the mage is trying to put his ideals onto the world, maybe he's trying to, like, make them be a certain way, but yeah, it is a crappy world, and
also literally, because you know, like all of these birds, they just want to rule, and they have this oppressive system that the birds do. The birds dominate, and you know,
and then also given the fact that literally the Parakeet King comes up with Mihi first, saying like, "Hey, like, well, look what they did! Like, how great am I for like bringing her to justice?" And then like, you know, and then we even see him coming up to the mage after stepping over the heron. Funny, I thought he was going to strike him down or something, but yeah. The Parakeet King, he's like, what the heck? Like, all of this with some blocks? Like, what the heck are you doing? Like, and this is after the boy Mahito refuses. The mage is like, yeah, the world is gonna end. And the Parakeet King is like, no, like, I'm not gonna accept that. And he, like, builds that up himself.
Yeah. And he ends up bringing its own demise.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you know, man, like
justice right there.
And so, you know, they destroy, like, everything's going to crap.
Yep.
Again,
like literally, the seams of the world are falling apart, like a building blocks tower.
Yeah.
yeah.
And so they're gonna make their way, you know, out of the tower to the respective time. Mihito with with Natsuko.
Yeah.
Natsuko now is like, oh yeah, and you know, for all this entire time, I was like, what the heck? Like, I still don't know what's going on.
right. Because we're already at the stage of everything is going to crap and everyone's running.
And Noriko, they all meet on the same place. They kind of like say their farewell.
Oh, yes.
Kimi is like, hey, I'm going to be your mom. So I'm going to go there. He's like, no, you can't go there because you're going to die. And I was like, hey, it's all right. It's all right, my dude.
Yeah.
He was like,
very touching, but still confusing.
Yeah, still confusing.
The heron has his own door too. And yeah, like, seriously, yeah, it's true. They go through the door. But the weird thing also is when he does, the parakeets also try to go through, and it's mayhem, and they transform into little parakeets.
And they start crapping.
So much crap.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a symbolism about the crap or...
The dad was covered in crab. Everybody, well, I don't know. Well, who can say? they are like brought together again. Everybody is there. The old maid comes out from his pocket because apparently he like,
she was like a little figurine.
Yeah, the little. Oh my gosh. Okay, for me it was like the climax. It was there. It was awesome, albeit we don't have a whole lot of explanation. But then what got me was that 2 years later, we see him like packing up. It's them, the whole family, his new sibling, half sibling, I guess, and then his dad, and then Natsuko, and they're like leaving, and that's the end.
That's it.
Yeah. And no joke, that was a very abrupt end for me.
And you know, the thing is that the Heron told him like, hey, you must forget.
Oh, this. Yes. We can't forget that part. You cannot forget. I mean, you have to forget. But
you cannot forget that he had to forget.
Yeah. That's it. And he's like, And oh man, that was such an odd, like, Wonderland moment, because he's like in a pitch black moment with Mahito. The Heron is talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, how do you remember?" And he's like, "Oh, you even if you still remember, you should forget." Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
chills up the spine.
You know, I don't know. I don't know
what that freaking meant.
Like, I don't know what's the symbolism before that. The only thing that I was able to kind of like think was like, you know what? This is kind of like some sort of criticism to like the Imperial Japan. Imperial Japan was ruthless, was like they were oppressing their people, like with the disguise of like, hey, we're being really patriotic. But they were really utilitarian in a way that, you know, back at the beginning of the Meiji era, it was just some of the higher ups that were trying so hard to be like the West that they ended up, tearing apart the country. And you know, what came after the war was Japan like slowly building up. And you know, kind of like forgetting that part of the war, because you know Japan was never the same after the war.
It is right. It is not. Yeah, not.
And you know that
not quite.
That's kind of like the only thing that I could have think of. It was like, you know what? Because you have the kingdom of the Parakeets. That it was. It seemed that it was flourishing. It seems that it was thriving.
Yeah, it was big.
It was full of crap.
And then I see.
And then it just.
And then trying to get all the.
It just came crashing down, just as easy. That's the only thing that I could think of.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, and then having it tie up all together with that small symbolism of, hey, you experience this, and it's in the past, and kind of like live your life from now on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess like I guess the part where it referred to like you must forget is like, yeah, you must forget not to like that doing that. It's not good because you're like there's also this saying that is like those who do not know their past are condemned to repeat it.
Yes.
But in a way, it's like, yeah, sometimes you must forget it just so that maybe you don't even think about doing some of that stuff. Which you know that's the only thing. Because other than that, maybe this could have been a different story. Like because again, like the world building, the storytelling of this movie, it's really good. But I don't know if this is me that I lacked my understanding because of how many garbage anime I've watched recently that I couldn't understand. If there's like someone else who has a better answer, like, oh no, this is like a social critique of the current world we live in, and I wish I could.
Or like some other big thinking overarching.
But for the most of it, it seems that it's just, you know, kind of like a coming of age story.
Definitely.
Of accepting that and accepting change.
Most definitely.
And you know, overall, and don't be stuck in the past. And don't be selfish. Don't be a piece of crap.
Don't be a piece of crap, right? And oh yes, absolutely. Like and like be with your family. Like have a strong family, no matter how your family may change. Like they're still your family. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was
like one of those.
It was a pretty strong movie. It was really fascinating, fantastic elements to it. Even with like maybe some of the things that weren't explained, it was still a great like plot. I would say like great storyline.
Yeah, I thought it was different on like some other Ghibli movies.
It was definitely different. Yeah,
it felt different.
It had some similar themes like kids disappearing, like spirited away, you know. Definitely. Yep. Like, oh my gosh, Himi was like gone for a year, or his mother back when she was younger. That blew my mind. Like a freaking year. Like, what? So there are definitely some themes there that were very Ghibli-esque, and also with like transformations, not like trusting what you see with your eyes sometimes. But yeah, it was really fascinating. Also, I do want to say, I think it was very funny to me how everybody kept asking Mahito, "Oh, like, are you fond of Natsuko?" When you tried to rescue, he's like, "No, not me. Like, it's my dad." It's like, "Oh, are you sure?" Like,
no, my dad. Like, she's an older lady. Oh, you like older ladies.
Oh, older ladies, okay. Oh yeah, the Onesans. Oh yes. I just thought that was kind of funny to my thinking. But yeah.
Yeah, I really doubt that I will find any clips, which part of it will make it easier for editing.
Oh yes.
I think the last video that happened something similar was
was it Summer Ghost?
No, it wasn't.
Oh no, we found that one. Yeah.
This movie with the monster guy.
Oh, Uno.
Yeah, Uno.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a very
because we also recorded that one after watching the movie. So
we did. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, even Inuo has more of like straightforward story.
Yes.
You know, I thought Inuo was like kind of like enigmatic, but now comparing it with this one, I was like, man, Inuo is like pretty straightforward story.
Right? Yeah.
And with this one, it's like
no, it was not.
Things are happening, but I don't. You lost me on the fire at the beginning.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Way back then.
Yeah. Excellent movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's still on theaters by the time this comes out. But if not, just like wait for it to be out on stream or DVD.
Yep.
Because it is worth watching.
It is, yes.
You might not understand it. But overall the animation, the voice acting, the soundtrack, it's amazing. So just for that, it's worth it. You're like, I have no idea what's happening, but this is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep watching anime. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for joining.
Bye. And matinee.